Hey everybody, have you considered starting a podcast? We here at Screwball highly recommend Podbean for getting your podcast out to a larger audience. Podbean has given us the ability to easily bring you Screwball each and every week on all of your favorite podcast services. Use the link podbean.com/screwball to sign up and save up to 35% annually. You can also use the link podbean.com/pro/screwball to sign up for a business subscription. Happy podcasting. Hey everybody, welcome back to Screwball, a baseball podcast, your home for everything baseball. I'm your host, Mike Lepre, here with my co-host, Frank White.
Hey, how's it going?
We finally made it to our overall prediction series after doing our 6-week divisional prediction series. This is our 7th and final prediction series with this going up on opening day this week. We finally made it. So as like we did last year and kind of like we've been doing with the divisional predictions, we're going to run through our total divisional predictions with the records, with who's going to make a wild card, who's going to win the divisions, who's going to be in the division series, championship series, World Series winners. We'll give out awards for the championship series and the World Series. We'll give out awards for after the season with the MVP, Cy Youngs, Rookie of the Year, all that stuff, and we'll get into some stat leaders. So that's kind of what we got planned for this episode. Like I said, we did this last year. Obviously, we did it a little earlier last year because the season didn't start till much later, so it's nice that this is our first year we're doing it, and we actually do have opening day on Thursday when this goes live, so we're happy about that. But we're going to start out with, like we did with the divisional episodes, we'll start out with the American League here. We're going to throw it back and forth, so I'm going to start with my AL divisions, Frank will go into his AL divisions, then we'll go to NL, he'll do NL, and then we'll run through the playoffs. So, just to run through it quickly, my start in the AL East, like I said, like we did with our episodes, I have the Yankees winning the AL East with 101 wins, 61 losses. I have the Blue Jays coming in second with 89 wins, 73 losses, and getting a wild card. I have the Rays coming in third with 87 wins and 75 losses. Red Sox fourth at 77 and 85. And the Orioles in last at 67 and 95. And then moving on to the Central, I have the White Sox winning the Central with a record of 96 and 66. I have the Twins coming in second at 90 and 72, getting a wild card, the first wild card. I have the Indians coming in third at 81 and 81. I have the Royals coming in fourth at 71 and 91. And I have the Tigers coming in fifth at 69 and 93. And then finally moving on to the AL West, which I think is going to be one of the weirder divisions, maybe one of the harder divisions to predict, if I'm being honest. In the West, I have the Astros winning the division at 90 and 72. I have the A's coming in second right behind him at 88 and 74. I have the Angels in third at 86 and 76. And then far behind them, I have the Rangers at 73 and 89 and the Mariners at 70 and 92. So before I shoot it over to Frank, just to re-outline it to set up for when I talk about my playoffs, I have the Yankees winning their division, White Sox winning the Central, Astros winning the West, Twins hosting the Blue Jays in the wild card game. So that's what I got as for the AL, and then Frank, whatever you got.
Yeah, some of these records we have are actually the same, which is kind of hard to believe or surprising. But start off with the AL East. I got the Yankees winning the division, 102 and 60. I got the Blue Jays in second, 86 and 76. I got the Rays in third, 81 and 81. So they'll be right at 500. I got the Red Sox in fourth at 76 and 86, and I got the Orioles coming in last, 66 and 96. So we're pretty much right on the money there.
Just about, yeah.
AL Central, I got the White Sox, 97 and 65. I got the Twins in second, 89 and 73.
Boy, oh boy.
I got the Indians in third, 78 and 84. I got the Royals in fourth, 71 and 91.
There you go.
And I got the Tigers in last, 70 and 92. And then the AL West, which was almost the exact records, just different teams.
Okay.
I have the A's winning the division at 90 and 72.
Okay.
I got the Angels in second, 88 and 74.
Okay.
I got the Astros in third, 83 and 79.
Okay.
And then I got the Rangers in fourth, 73 and 89.
Wow.
And the Mariners in last, 67 and 95.
Boy, I'll tell you what. I just said how the West was going to be hard to predict, and we get the same records just about.
Yeah,
I like that.
So, and like you said, like you broke it down. I got the Yankees winning their division, White Sox winning their division, the A's winning their division, and then I have the Angels facing the Twins in the wild card game, and the Twins obviously being the number one seed, being the home team. Just to throw in there, we talked about our division, kind of where we set them is going to be, pretty similar. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we kind of think the same way here with some of these, but the records Obviously, the records, weirdly enough, are kind of similar too. I just kind of ran the same page here. So.
Yeah, I mean, you always send me your predictions every year. It's just kind of been a tradition, and we kind of always talk about it. But this year, I did try to just not. I looked at the results. I didn't want to look at the fine details because I wanted to try and form my own opinion without looking at predictions from other outlets or from you. I just wanted to try and what was I feeling. So that's cool that we're kind of like I said it, or actually you said it. The West, we have the same records. Just flip the teams around a little bit. And I do hope the Angels make the playoffs. By the way. Even though I don't have them in the playoffs, I would like that to happen. So, so then moving on to the NL, start again in the NL East here. I have the Braves winning the division at 97-65. I have the Mets coming in second at 92-70 and getting a wild card. I have the Nationals coming in third at 84-78. I have the Phillies coming in fourth at 82-80, and I have the Marlins coming in last at 78-84. I have in the NL Central, moving on to, I have the Cardinals winning the division at 92-70. I have the Cubs in second at 87-75. I have the Brewers in third at 85-77. I have the Reds in fourth at 80-82. And I have the Pirates in way last at 61-101. And then finally in the NL West, I have the Dodgers winning the division at 102-60. I have the Padres coming in second at 98-64 and getting a wild card. And then I have the Giants coming in third at 79-83. I have the Diamondbacks coming in fourth at 78-84. And I have the Rockies in last at 69-93. So I have the Dodgers winning the West, Cardinals winning the Central. I have the Braves winning the East. And then I have the Padres hosting the Mets in the wild card game.
Well, it makes sense to me. But to go into mine, I got the Braves at 98-64 winning the division in the East. The Mets 88-74 second. Phillies in third at 85-77, which I think is a little different than you had there. Really, I think the Phillies got something there. Just it's a hard division.
Yeah, it is.
Nationals in fourth, 77-85, and the Marlins in fifth, 69-93. The Central, I got the Cardinals winning the division at 95-67. And in this division, I think we had the most difference. I have the Reds in second, 84-78. I have the Brewers in third at 81-81. I have the Cubs in fourth at 77-85.
Wow.
And then I had the Pirates in last place at 55-107.
Yeah, they're going to be rough.
They're going to push the Larry Rothschild Rays for just not good. In the West, I have the Padres winning the division at 162.
Okay.
That's what I got there. I got a bet for these division leaders.
Yeah, I put my bet in today.
So I put a bet in for these, so they better win.
Yeah, I hear you.
Win a little bit of money here. So Dodgers in second, 95-67. Diamondbacks in third, 82-80. I think that pitching, like we talked about last week, I think their pitching could come around a little bit. And then I got the Giants in fourth, 71-91. I'm telling you, I don't think they're very good.
Wow.
And then I got the Rockies in last place, 65-97, and
oh wow,
they're just.
Even I gave them more credit than you did. I'm surprised.
That's just hey, who's pitching?
Yeah,
and they're gonna get shelled. They're just gonna get shelled around.
And Story is gonna get traded, I think.
They're gonna trade. They're gonna trade people away. They don't got a bunch of prospects to call up. It's just gonna be a mess out there.
Yeah, yeah. I think the biggest difference we had, because even though you had the Giants at 71 or something like that,
71,
I had them at 79 wins. So I mean, I didn't think them very highly either. But the biggest difference we had, I think, was I had the Cubs at 87 wins. You had them at 77.
Yeah.
So you might even. I think maybe what you're thinking is that they'll end up being sellers and they're just going to be bad.
I just don't see enough there.
Yeah.
I just don't see enough there. I try being more realistic, than generous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I hear you. I just think that with the talent they have, if they don't become sellers, they have talent. So I think that the upside. You're looking at floor, I'm looking at ceiling, essentially.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll end up in the middle there.
Yeah, and I try being a little bit realistic here. I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, well, third place team, every division is going to have 86 wins, because it's just not going to be that way.
Yeah.
Third place team's going to be 500 in most divisions, if they're lucky.
That's what I did with the NL West. I think the NL West, they're just going to get cannibalized by the Dodgers and Padres. They're just going to eat up wins from those teams, I think. So, but, yeah, you had the Padres win the division.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I had the Padres winning the division, winning the West, the Cardinals winning the Central, the Braves winning the East, and then I have the Mets winning the wild card, and the Dodgers winning the first wild card, and the Mets winning the second wild card, I should say.
Okay.
So the Mets will be at Dodgers in the wild card game.
All right, so we had the same playoffs, it's just that you had the Dodgers hosting the Mets. I had the Padres
I had
hosting
the
the Mets.
Padres winning the division, so that was the difference.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say we just literally just flipped that. Okay. All right, so then I'll get into all my AL and NL. I'll just run through my whole playoff bracket here. So I'll start with the AL and then move into the NL and then come together for the World Series. So in the AL, I have the Twins hosting the Blue Jays. I have the Twins advancing, winning 6-2. I think they finally get over the hump. I think they finally win. I don't think they go much further, but I think that they finally get their win in the playoffs, which will be big for them. I think just that'll be big. Then they'll go on to play the White Sox, who I have them getting swept by. I have the White Sox advancing to the ALCS, winning 3-0. And then in the other division series, I have the Yankees and the Astros, a little bit of a rematch. And I have the Yankees advancing, winning in 4 games, 3-1. And then I have the Yankees and the White Sox facing off in the ALCS, which is going to be unbelievable, I think. I have the Yankees advancing in 7 games, Giancarlo Stanton being the ALCS MVP. I just think with what we saw from him last year with the most recent playoffs here, I think that he's going to be, if he's healthy, because that's always a question, if he's healthy, he's going to be a stud in the playoffs. He's clutch. And then moving over to the NL, I have the Padres hosting the Mets. I have the Padres edging out the Mets and advancing, winning 3-1. I think that pitching, I think they're either going to have Snell, most likely Snell, or Darvish starting that first game. While I understand the Mets will probably have DeGrom, I just think that Snell's going to have a hell of a year, and I think that the Mets offense, like they usually do, won't come through for him. And then they'll go on. The Padres and the Dodgers will meet in the division series, which will be just fireworks. Yeah. And I do have the Dodgers edging them out by 1 game, going 5 games. In the other division series, I have the Cardinals versus the Braves. I have the Braves barely edging out the Cardinals in 5 games. Then, so I have a rematch of the championship series here. I have the Dodgers and the Braves in the championship series, but I have the Braves winning this time in 6 games. I think that, really the Braves probably should have won last year. Dodgers made a pretty good comeback. I think the Braves will go for the throat, and I think that they'll end up winning 6, and Freddie Freeman will get the NLCS MVP. So then, finally, we make it to the World Series. I have the Yankees and the Braves going to the World Series. I think a hell of a matchup, and I think the Yankees end up winning in 6, and Gleyber Torres is your World Series MVP. I don't see the Dodgers returning to the World Series, and I really don't see them repeating. It's hard anymore to win 2 in a row, so I don't see that happening. I know I'm often high on the Dodgers, and I even have them in the championship series here. I just don't see them repeating. I can't. And I think the Yankees for too long have had that injury bug, and at some point something's got to give, and I do think that this may be the year that they finally get over that injury bug.
Oh yeah, I agree with you on a lot of that stuff, but I think you took my predictions from last year and just spit them back out this year, because I'm pretty sure I had the Yankees and the Braves last year in the World Series. I think I had the Yankees winning it in 6, and I think I had Gleyber Torres as the MVP. So, if you just want to take my stuff from last year and just repost it, you can. It's fine. Just ask me.
All right.
But just to throw in one little quirk here I put in, I just want to talk about the All-Star game too, as I always do.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I have the AL winning the All-Star game 7-5, and the MVP being Tim Anderson. It's always just always a mess. You're trying guessing that, but I always try getting it.
I'll just agree with that because I could see Tim Anderson winning, and it's usually pretty high scoring, I think.
Yeah. So, but to get into my playoffs, I have in the AL, I have the Angels at Twins. I have the Angels winning 6-4. I think it's going to be just kind of more hitting than pitching with that. And then you got Mike Trout and Pujols and Ohtani hitting, and it's good in Rendon. And the Twins just smash home runs, so that's just going to be a higher scoring game. On the divisional, I have the Angels at Yankees. I got the Yankees winning 3-1. Obviously, the pitching's not going to hold up, especially Angels are probably going to throw the kitchen sink at the wildcard game to win that.
Yeah.
The other divisional, I have the A's at the White Sox. The White Sox winning 3-1. We've seen that series this year, right? This past year, and that was a pretty good series.
Yeah.
Obviously, the A's are a little different this year, and the White Sox are more similar, but still kind of different. Mm-hmm. Championship series, I got the White Sox at Yankees. I got the Yankees winning 7. I mean, that's both teams are great.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. I think that's what you had there. And the ALCS MVP, which you also had, I had Stan, just because he's going to hit that home run, 2-3 home runs, and it's just going to stand out.
Oh, yeah.
On the NL side, I have the Mets at Dodgers in the wild card game. And I have the Mets winning 3-2.
Okay.
I just don't see. Do the Dodgers give it to Bauer in a playoff game? Do they give in and give it to Kershaw? Or do they go to the real young guy in Buehler?
Yeah.
So I think they're going to question really Kershaw's legacy right there.
Yeah.
If they don't give it to him, people are going to be like, that's Kershaw. But then you're like, well,
Mm-hmm.
Or do they give in and give it to him and then they lose?
Yeah.
Either way, though, and then you got DeGrom on the other side. So it's going to be 3-2.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I have the Mets at Padres in the divisional round. I have the Padres winning 3-2. And the other one I have, which is probably every single year, you write this right in. I think it might be one of the biggest rivalries we've seen in baseball in the playoffs. It's the Cardinals at the Braves.
Mm-hmm.
Every single year we see that.
Mm-hmm.
Every single year anymore.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Almost every single year.
I know.
What's it like? I think it's 5 of the last 6 or 5 of the last 7 years we've seen the Cardinals and the Braves play each other in the playoffs.
It's got to be something like that, yeah.
I mean, it goes all the way back to what? When the infield fly?
Yeah.
Ever since then, it's like every year.
They got to meet.
So that's a great series every time. You just wish it was 7.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the Cardinals beating the Braves in 5 games.
Okay.
They're both evenly matched. I think the Cardinals they're going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the championship game, I had the Cardinals at Padres. Cardinals winning in 6 games.
Okay.
So that would leave me with my World Series of Cardinals at Yankees. The World Series. I have the Yankees winning in 6 games. And I think that would be, the first time, I believe, the Cardinals and Yankees face each other in the World Series.
Is that right?
I believe it would be the first time. And those are the 2 teams that have the most championships, I believe.
Yeah, they do.
Never faced each other in the World Series. That'd be the first time. That would be 2 great franchises to face each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
And 2 little bit different fan bases, but great fan bases, but 2 different.
Yeah.
One,
yeah.
Crazy, but, they're a little off the wall. The other one crazy, but they know it all.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals, their fan base just knows everything about baseball.
Yeah.
But I have the World Series of the Cardinals at Yankees. Yankees winning in 6 games, and my World Series MVP, LeMahieu. I also should backtrack. I missed. I had Goldsmith win the NLCS MVP. I should have said that. I missed that, Goldsmith.
Mm-hmm.
But in the World Series, I have LeMahieu winning the MVP because he's going to bat like 400. He'll hit a home run, and he'll just, that'll just be him.
Yeah.
He'll have like that Matsui-esque one game where he has like 8 RBIs, and that's that's fine. He gets it.
That's where I kind of see Glaber as the World Series MVP because, I mean, first of all, we talked about it with how good LeMahieu is. I just feel like it won't get the credit. He'll bat like 400 in the World Series, and they'll be like, oh, we'll give it to Hicks or something. Like that's why I think Glaber, because Glaber quietly is a good playoff player. He's come up with some big hits for the Yankees, and he's, maybe not. Obviously he's still young. He may not be like a Jeter or anything like that, like where he's money in the playoffs. But at this point, he's done pretty good for them in the playoffs. So I think that I could see him being someone that rises to the occasion. And I wanted to put Voit because I just love Voit, but I see Voit being a guy that does good in the playoffs, but maybe not like goes on a run like a guy like Torres could do or Stanton. Those guys can go on runs. So that's kind of where I was thinking. But yeah, I mean, really. Obviously, I had the difference in the wild card. I had the Blue Jays there. You had the Angels. You had the A's instead of the Astros. Other than that, in the NL, I had the Dodgers going to the championship series. You had them losing in the wild card game. So I mean, there's a difference there. But other than that, we had the same teams in the NL. So, and then I had the Braves getting to the championship series. You had them just barely edging out. I had the Braves edging out the Cardinals. You had the Cardinals edging out the Braves. So there's the difference there. But we ended up coming to the same consensus with the Yankees. I do think that, like I said, something's got to give with the injuries. I think finally they got to get over that hump, and if they don't, there's even bigger problems they already have. They already have problems with not getting to they didn't go to the World Series all last decade. For the Yankees, that's not you can't do that. So something's got to happen here. I don't think the Dodgers are going to repeat as much as they are already favorites in just about everything. I don't think that they can get. It's just so hard anymore, And they are just, and you got guys like Justin Turner's just getting older, and you never know what you're getting out of Bellinger, and Kershaw's just getting
Kenley
older.
Jensen.
Yeah, Kenley Jensen's not really getting any better. It seems like,
I still don't think your manager's that great.
No.
So
well, neither is really. I mean, I'm not a big Baron Boone guy, but
No, but I think David Roberts is really a maniac. And the NL only got tougher.
Yeah.
And the AL is only getting stronger, and the few teams that are strong, they're getting stronger. But the NL has a lot of teams.
Yeah, and not for nothing, but the Astros aren't in the way of the Yankees anymore. Maybe they'll fare or just match up better against the White Sox. I mean, I know I have them here beating the Astros. I'm getting a little revenge, but the Astros are a monkey on the Yankees' back. They held them from that 2017 World Series with some help from a trash can.
Yeah. Grover.
They obviously the Chapman and Jose Altuve thing. Obviously, there was controversy there, but that held them from getting to the World Series. So, So maybe there's a different matchup with a younger team like the White Sox could be what they need to finally get over that hump and get to the World Series. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like I said, we came to the same conclusion, which is interesting. I think last year I had the Dodgers winning it, but I forget if I ended up having the Yankees or not. It was either the Yankees and the Dodgers. I know that.
Yeah,
I know it
I
for
had
a
the
fact.
Yankees and Braves, and not that I picked the Yankees every year, even the last 2 years. It's just that they have, they're obviously the top 2, 3 talented teams in all baseball, so it just makes sense. But I would love a World Series with the Cardinals and Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. I always like the Cardinals.
Yeah, me too.
They're just a great franchise. I don't know. Uniforms look good. I don't know. Baseball just looks good on that field, but them uniforms, it's just something about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's Cardinal red. As much as people say Dodger blue, there's nothing better than the Cardinal red.
Mm-hmm.
Just looks great.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see that World Series just as much as I'd like to see this Yankee Braves World Series. It'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great too.
So, and then who knows? You never know with the Padres. You never really know because they're nuts. They're out of their mind, and they just got better. They got nothing. They did nothing but get better. So we'll see. But that's so. I got the Yankees beating the Braves. You got Yankees beating the Cardinals.
Yep.
So moving on from there, we have 5 awards to give out that we're gonna predict here. Obviously, one. MVP in the AL, MVP in the NL, and then Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, Manager of the Year, and Comeback Player of the Year. And then we'll move on to the league leaders. We got quite a few of them. So I'll start out here. I'll just run through my awards here, and then you can run through yours. For the MVP award, I have Nolan Arenado winning it in the NL. I think he comes over the Cardinals, and he's just re-energized because he's already good with the Rockies. He was already good in that stadium. Throw him on a team that's probably winning that Central Division, and I think he's really going to shine. And the AL, I have Trout. I mean, it's Trout. I don't think that anyone's going to question that pick. And I do think that in a full season here, I do think that Trout is Trout, and I think he's just going to be good. So I'm not worried about him.
No.
For the Cy Young Award, I went with a little bit of a dark horse in the NL. I went with Max Fried. I think pretty highly of the Braves. I do think they're going to go to the World Series. So I do think that they're going to need a pitcher like Fried to kind of put on their back and. I think that he'll be good. I don't think he's going to tear up the league. I don't think he's going to win the pitching triple crown or anything, but I think he's going to pitch very well, and I think he'll end up with and plus, sometimes they give the benefit of the doubt to the teams that win more with voting. They're a little more sympathetic, so I think he'll win that. And then the AL in a full 162 game season, I think Garrett Cole is going to get his Cy Young with the Yankees. I think that he struggled a little bit early last season. He ended up obviously with Garrett Cole type numbers, but he's going to have the strikeouts. He's going to have the innings. He's going to have the wins. He's just going to be a statistical darling, and I think that he's going to end up really shining and probably getting that Cy Young. As for Rookie of the Year in the NL, I have Dylan Carlson. I think he's, me and you talk about him all the time. I think he's going to be a stud. Mm-hmm. I think that he struggled when he first came up with the Cardinals, but that's, there's always growing pains, so I'm not really worried about that. But I think in a proper 162-game season, you tell him you're starting, you tell him you're playing, I think he's going to be really good.
I think the pressure will be off him this year, too, because the offense for the Cardinals last year struggled. And when you have a guy like that come up, that's your offense you're expecting. Now you have Arenado and some other guys there. The pressure's not really on him. And 162 games, you have time to, realize that pressure's on, pressure's off. I can just play baseball. 60 games, it's... you're 3 weeks in, you feel pressure, and all of a sudden the season's over. It's just moving too quick.
Yeah, and you're just coming up, so you got the pressure of
no fans. You never seen that before. I mean, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
and the Cardinals team he's really good. That guy, he's really good.
Yeah, so I think he'll win the NL Rookie of the Year, and in the AL, I think Jared Kelenic for the Mariners. I think he's going to be an absolute unit. I think he's going to be awesome. I think he's going to be...
From the Mets.
He's going to... Yeah, of course. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be a cornerstone in the future of that Mariners team with Kyle Lewis and all that. So I think that he's going to be really good. I don't know. Is he going to start the season with them, or is he he's going to do that thing?
They called up Taylor Trammell to fill in for Kyle Lewis, who's going to be on their injury list for just a little while. But Taylor Trammell, who was a top prospect, will be up there, but Kelenic's not.
He's going to... I'm assuming come up after that April date, so they got an extra year.
He needs them 3 more weeks of seasoning. He can't, not quite ready. 3 more weeks.
All right.
Their CEO said it all. He just said that 3 more weeks. He's nothing to do with the service time. It's just 3 more weeks.
No, he just needs some time. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
But no, I think he's going to be fantastic. He's going to be a really good player. And then for manager of the year for the NL, I have Brian Snitker. Again, makes sense. I have them going to the World Series, so I think that he'll, I think that team's gonna just play regardless of really who was at the helm. So, but I think that he is good, and I think he'll end up winning that.
Yeah, he could tame those guys.
Yeah,
he knows how to handle Acuna. I remember he sat him, pulled him right out of the game. He knows how to
let
him have some fun, but knows when to lock down.
Yeah, so I think he's good, and I think he'll get a little bit of love from the voters. And then in the AL, I have Rocco Baldelli, because I do think that the Twins are going to be good. They're not quite. I don't think they're quite like the White Sox. I don't think they're quite on that level. I'm come to think of it, I could have even chose La Russa, but I think Rocco Baldelli. The reason I'm thinking this is I think they finally get over the hump and finally win a playoff series, and I think that that's going to be a lasting impression for the voters. And I think and I personally, even though I have the Yankees win the World Series, I can't give Boone a Manager of the Year award. I can't do it. So then finally for Comeback Player of the Year in the NL, I couldn't really think of anyone, to be honest with you. So I went with a little bit of a weird pick. I went with Josh Harrison, because he has been awful. He's been awful, and he was really good.
Maybe he could be the next Howie Kendrick for them.
You never know. I mean, even if he bats like 260, he's got to win Comeback Player of the Year. He's got batting 100. So I went with a little weird pick there, and your buddy, we had our fantasy draft, and I believe the update I got from him was that Carter K. Boone was not going to start.
No, yes and down.
And Josh Harrison was going to start. So I said, well, the door's open. You never know.
Yeah, never know.
And then for the AL Comeback Player of the Year, I don't know, obviously, with the timetable with injury, but I picked Chris Sale because I think that Chris Sale is like that kind of guy who comes back and it was like he was never gone.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that coming off an injury like that, I think he's going to be fantastic. And I think that people are going to recognize that it's like, wow, this guy was out all last year. You wouldn't even know. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like I said, I pulled something out of my ass with Josh Harrison because I couldn't really think of anyone. But yeah, that's what I got for my main awards.
Yeah, I mean, I got some similar ones here. In the AL MVP, I got Mike Trout. That's fine. I just average home runs, stolen bases, defense. He's just a great player. I mean, I don't know who else. There's a couple of guys you could throw out there, but Mike Trout's going to always be up there. In the NL, I got Juan Soto. Just seems to be the kind of guy that everyone loves. So he's definitely going to get some love there. Cy Young. In the AL, I got Tyler Glasnow. Some of the nastiest stuff in all of baseball. As long as he stays healthy this year, because 2 years ago, the last full season, for 6, 7, 8 starts, he was winning Cy Young. He had like a 1.2 ERA or something. He was disgusting. And then he got hurt, and then he didn't come back to the end of the year and pitched great. Last year, he had a little bit of hiccups and a little bit of injuries, but he ended up with like a 3-point-something ERA, which is still fine. So I think I got him at AL Cy Young. NL Cy Young, I got Blake Snell. He's going to pitch like a madman this year. He's going to pitch with a chip on his shoulder. He's coming out. He's going to show everybody that, show the Rays and Kevin Cash that he can pitch more than 3 batters.
Yeah.
Let him go. I think Blake Snell wins NL Cy Young this year. I also think Blake Snell throws a no-hitter this year.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Because he's just going to be, I'm telling you, he's going to have a fire in him this year that he's never had before. So that'd be a second Cy Young, and that'd be a Cy Young in both divisions, or both leagues, I should say. So that'd be something.
Yeah, that would be.
Rookie of the Year, I think you guys heard this before. I got AJ Puck. He's healthy, and he looks pretty good right now, but he's healthy, so that's going to be something. And the NL Rookie of the Year is Dylan Carlson, like you said. I think I had both these guys last year for my Rookie of the Year.
I know you had AJ Puck.
Carlson, I think I had too last year. He didn't come up early enough to be Rookie of the Year last year, and Puck had an injury before opening day, or right before the real opening day, and that set his whole season back. So that was my Rookie of the Year. Manager of the Year, I got Joe Madden. Angels make the playoffs. I think Joe Madden's a lock for that. Because also they love Joe Madden.
Yeah.
So I think he's a lock for the AL. And NL, I got Mike Schilt. I mean, if the Cardinals go to the World Series, you can't really argue that. No Kevin Cash there.
No.
Don't worry. No Kevin Cash.
God, no.
Comeback Player of the Year, like you said, AL, I have Chris Sale. He's such a dominant player. He's missed like a year and a half. Multiple injuries. Even the last time he played, he was a little off because of some injuries. He's going to come back, and I think he's going to be fine. He's one of my favorite players, and I ended up drafting him at the end of our fantasy draft because I'm like, he's going to be back in May, and that's fine. And the NL Comeback Player of the Year stays with the same team you had, but I got Josh Bell because he was so bad last year. And now he's energized. He's going to go over there. He's mashing the ball with the Nationals in spring training. He's going to come out, and he's going to win Comeback Player of the Year for the Nationals, especially if the Nationals, have a relatively good team, I mean, that's also gonna help. That's my awards there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, kind of similar stuff. We both had Trout, both had Carlson, Rookie of the Year, both had Sale. I don't think that, you picked Glass now. I think we both had Glass now last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I think I was gonna pick Sale last year. And
yeah.
Sale announced right after I did my predictions that he was gonna get Tommy John, so I'm switching it to just Glass now. It's just like hell, that's fine.
He's good.
So I mean Garrett Cole obviously, but I don't know. This Glass now's got some nasty stuff.
Yeah.
So I just got something. I got a feeling he's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So.
And then, like I said, I went with a dark horse with Max Fried. Because, like I said, I think so highly of the Braves. I think they're going to need someone like that to pitch like that. So we'll get more into it with the statistics, why I kind of think what I think is going to happen. But yeah, I mean, all good stuff. Like I said, I had Arenado. I think that little bit of extra push, I think we'll get on a winning team. Because he's already, like I said before, he's just already unbelievable. And just throw him on a better team. All right, so this time we're going to move on to our league leaders, but we're going to go back and forth on each one rather than running through all of them, and then you running through all of them. So we'll go, we have batting average, home runs, RBIs, stolen bases, wins, strikeouts, saves, and ERA. So we'll start with the hitting categories. We'll start with batting average. In the NL, I have the NL batting average leader being Corey Seager for the Dodgers. I think he's just fantastic, and I think that he's just really going to hit well, and I think he's starting to come into his own and find a spot in that lineup and really be a big spot in that lineup, I think. And you saw it in the playoffs. I mean, him and Justin Turner just about won those last games.
Justin Turner, of course.
Yeah, they just won those games by themselves. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then the AL, of course, I don't think anyone's really surprised by this, but DJ LeMahieu. I mean, people are already noting his struggles in spring training. He's just saving it all. Don't get worried.
I ain't worried about it.
He's saving it all for the season. Don't you worry about the machine.
He can come out and say he's going to bat lefty this year, and I'm still thinking he's batting 300. That's fine. He's just going to do what he's got to do. So,
yeah.
But yeah, for me, AL batting average, I got, let's look down here, DJ LeMahieu, and he'll probably bat like 322 or 332 because that's what he does.
Yeah.
And in the NL, I got Juan Soto. That's part of the reason why I got win MVP. But he's just a guy who kind of seems to be 315, 320, 30 home runs, some stolen bases, excitement. People love him. He's young. I think he's already got the voters kind of on his side.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I got him winning the average batting title out there for the NL.
Yeah, he's a stud, and I meant to mention it with your comeback player of the year with Josh Bell. That Nationals lineup's gonna have a little bit more protection than it's used to. At the top you got Trey Turner, you got Soto, Josh Bell. These guys, I think there will be more protection. I think that helps Soto out. I think that helps Josh Bell out. So that definitely makes sense. I could say Soto's a stud. I mean, he's great. Then moving on to the home run leaders in the NL, I have Pete Alonso, and then in the AL, I have Giancarlo Stanton. I think that Pete Alonso, while I don't think that Pete Alonso's by any means the best hitter in the league, I do think he's got great power, and I could legitimately see this guy batting 250 the rest of his career, but just hitting home runs, and that's fine. The Mets need it. Really, I think need a guy like that just is your four hitter and he just hits home runs.
Yeah.
So I think that he'll be the home run leader at the end of the day. And then in the AL, I think going back to what I said with the Yankees finally win the World Series, I think they finally have a healthy season. Stanton finally has a healthy season, and he hits 55 home runs. I mean, I really do think that in a healthy season, people wanted that Judge and Stanton, like the Bash Brothers 2.0, and I think that when healthy, they'll get it. And I think Stanton leads. I think he'll lead the charge because I do think Judge is a little bit more of a gap to gap. Obviously he's got brute strength, but I think that Judge goes into some power slumps. I don't think Stanton really does. I think he goes into slumps, but Stanton still got the power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, Stanton that one year, he had like 60 home runs. That was one of the greatest years I've ever seen someone hit.
Unbelievable.
You just knew a home run was coming every day. Every day he was smashing a home run, and he was just fine with it.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But my home runs in the AL, I got my boy, Matt Olson. Matt Olson's leading the league in home runs this year. I mean, he had 17 last year, about like 190. I get it. This year, spring training, he's mashing the ball. I think he's batting 400, like 5 home runs or something. He's gonna win he's the AL home runs. He's gonna have like 47 home runs. He's crazy. He's got some unbelievable power. Lefties or righties, doesn't matter for him. And in the NL, I think this is another safer pick. I got Ronald Acuna having leading the league in home runs out there, in which I mean he's pretty much shown what he's hitting like at least 38 home runs
Oh, yeah.
Like every year. Like
Oh,
38, 41, 42. He's just going to hit that, and that's just going to be what he does. And he's going to be one of those guys. You could say he's going to win MVP, and he probably should win a couple MVPs, but I think he's going to be one of the guys where you're just like, win MVP every year. Then he finally gets one.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think he's leading the league in home runs this year.
Yeah, he's an easy, at this point, I think an easy 30-30 guy and 40-40 potential. And imagine 50-50. That'd be insane. But
I had to pick one guy.
yeah,
I would say that's probably it right there.
That's the guy, yeah, because Trout he don't run like that anymore. He's obviously getting older, your legs go out and, whatever. But, Acuna's, I can't think of anyone else that could hit home runs like that and steal those bases, because Acuna's got stupid pop. I mean, he had the furthest home run hit last year, I'm pretty sure. So,
and he looks great in spring training.
Yeah.
A couple home runs already.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about him. So moving on to RBIs. In the NL, I picked Freddie Freeman. I think in that lineup, I just think people are going to be constantly on base, and he's just a great hitter inside and out. And then in the AL, no surprise here for anyone that I think follows the RBI statistic is Jose Abreu.
Nice.
It's just an RBI machine, and I do think it helps that the White Sox are just getting better, and there's just going to be people on base for him all the time, I think. And he just has RBIs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my RBI leader here at AL, I got Jose Abreu. I think this is going to be, third or fourth straight year winning RBIs. Even
like that.
I think it was like the first year he led the league in RBIs. I don't think his average was that high. It's just that when people are on base, he gets the job done.
Oh, yeah.
That's his big thing. So even if he's not doing great, he'll get the job done. One of those guys. So I got AL RBI leader Jose Abreu. NL, I got Fernando Tatis. Even though he's going to probably be in the top of the lineup, he's just he's going to hit a bunch of home runs. I think he's just going to put the ball in the gap. He's going to I think it's a little bit of a dark horse for RBI leader. I think he's just going to hit so many home runs. He's just going to force his way into the RBI chase. And then obviously with the Padres being good up and down the lineup, that's going to help.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that I should mention, I do have Arenado and Trout winning my MVP awards, yet I don't have them leading anything. And that's because these guys may not be league leaders in these statistics, but they're always top three in these statistics. And that's where I see Trout.
And Arenado's going to have a great defense.
Yeah, exactly. That
mentioned. I mean, Trout's defense is above average for sure.
But Arenado at third.
Gold Glove, but Arenado is the Gold Glove, and then Platinum Glove every year.
Yeah,
so that's going to help him.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. If you think, well, why are these guys MVP but they're not leading anything? It's like, well, Trout's always got RBIs, always got home runs, always got a good average. Same with Arenado.
His WAR is always high.
Yeah,
so even though no one knows how to calculate that, his WAR is always a top high guy.
Yeah. That's where my thought is. I think that they'll both be like top 2, top 3 statistical guys. But then moving on to the stolen base leaders, I feel like first of all, I feel like these are kind of foregone conclusions sometimes. Even last year, I think we kind of agreed on, everyone for the most part agrees on stolen bases. But in the NL, I have Trey Turner, and in the AL, I have Alberto Mondesi. This guy's just got stupid speed, and they both have some pretty good bats. Like, Trey Turner could put one out for sure. So,
20 home run guy.
Yeah, I mean, these guys can hit too, but, speed-wise, I mean, the only other one I could see in the NL would be Acuna, like, legitimately. I could see that. Because Trey Turner does have some injury concerns sometimes. So I could see Acuna sneaking in there and getting that spot, but I do think it'll be Trey Turner and Mondesi.
Yeah, I can't disagree because I didn't disagree. I mean, the AL, I got Alberto Mondesi. I mean, just to give you some names, just so we're not the same here, I mean, you could look at Nick Madrigal.
Oh, yeah.
Who just flies around the bases. I mean, Buxton, if he had a whole year where he's not hurt for once.
Yeah, he's got speed.
And then, coming out of the minors, Bichette was a big stolen base guy, but I think that's dropped definitely, so I wouldn't really put him up there. But I would say maybe Nick Madrigal's definitely a guy to look at for a chance at it. But I do have Alberto Mondesi in the AL, and in the NL, I have Trey Turner as well. Another guy, like you said, Acuna. I think he's got a guy who's got a shot. Garrett Hampson, if he plays a full year with the Rockies, definitely a stolen base guy. Or even Tatis.
Yeah.
You see him kind of, he flies around the bases as well.
Yeah.
But I think Tommy Edman maybe.
Hey,
Cardinals, he's supposed
dark
to,
horse.
He's got some speed. But I think, that's a pretty safe bet with Mondesi in the AL and Trey Turner in NL leading in stolen bases.
Yeah.
With, 15, 60 anymore.
Yeah.
Used to be 100, and it ain't that no more.
And you got to kind of think about the younger guys. I mean, people on the other side of 30 generally aren't stealing like 50, 60 bases.
No,
so
unless that's what they do.
Yeah. So moving on to the pitching categories, we'll start with the wins category. So to start out, I have in the NL, I have Blake Snell being being the wins leader in the NL. And in the AL, I have Garrett Cole. Like I kind of said in justifying the Cy Young pick for Cole, I just think that the Yankees are going to be good, and he's a guy that just goes out there and wins. He's an ace. So I think that he'll get the wins. And even if he has bad starts, which are few and far in between with him, the Yankees bats will back him up with run support. So, or at least like you'd like to think, because some guys just don't get run support like Chris Sale. So,
gosh, you could tell me.
And then Snell, same deal. I think Snell's, like you said, going to come out and pitch like he wants to pitch, not the 5-inning BS that we saw with the Rays.
Like that.
And the Padres are going to hit the hell out of the ball, so he'll get a lot of run support. So I think, and I have the Padres winning 98 games. So I mean, I feel like a lot of them. I think Snell's going to be a big contributor to that team, and I think Cole's going to be the main pitching guy for the Yankees. So
yeah, I can't disagree. AL, I have wins leader Garrett Cole, and the NL I have Blake Snell. As simple as that. Blake Snell's going to pitch with a chip on his shoulder, and Garrett Cole's just Garrett Cole. He's one of those guys who's going to be up there every year, and that's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just to give you some names, so it's not the same. Obviously, you can look at Bieber again, but, hard to go back-to-back. Ryu, possibly with the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
The White Sox have Giolito or even Keuchel if he pitches the way he pitched last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the NL, you Max Fried, he could definitely get some wins. Jack Flaherty.
Yep.
Walker Buehler.
Yu Darvish for the Padres.
Yeah. So, Aaron Nola for Phillies. So there's a couple names, but for me, it's Garrett Cole in the AL, Blake Snell in the NL.
Okay. So then moving on from there, we have the strikeout leaders. In the NL, I have Jacob deGrom. I feel like he's usually at the top of one of these pitching categories. And in the AL, I kind of picked a little bit off of what you had for the Cy Young, Tyler Glasnow. I think regardless of his stuff, he's always striking guys out, whether he's on or off. He's got like 10 strikeouts in a game. You know what I mean? Like he'll give up 6 runs and pitch 4 innings. He's still striking out 10. So I see him like I said before with Garrett Cole. He's definitely gonna have his strikeouts because he's got nasty stuff too. But Glasnow, he just strikes people out.
Yeah, and these names are the same here. So the AL, I got Tyler Glasnow, but I also have him winning the Cy Young. But again, he's like 6'8". Throws the ball hard, ball rises. The curveball's up and down like 10 feet, drops. He's crazy. In the NL, I got Jacob deGrom. He just strikes guys out. He's throwing harder now than he's ever has. But other guys like you said, Garrett Cole, obviously, similar guys to wins really. Maybe even Ohtani.
Yeah,
I see him getting some strikeouts, being up there. And then the NL, you're looking at Jack Flaherty again.
Luis Castillo maybe.
Luis Castillo possibly. Maybe Brandon Woodruff is a guy who pitches very well.
Mm-hmm.
You Darvish and Snell and Dilson Lamet would be a great one. That would be a big underdog one for the Padres because he can really strike some guys out. So that'd be some other guys, but for me, again, same actually as Glasnow in the AL and deGrom in the NL.
Mm-hmm. So then moving on to the save category before we move on to the ERA category, we have the NL save leader. I have Edwin Diaz. We both thought we were going way off course there with Edwin Diaz, but I do think that I think I picked him last year too. I thought that he would have a resurgence because he's got good stuff.
He did pitch well last year. He did blow some saves. He was just more of a setup man last year.
And he does do good as a setup man. So worst comes to worst, I guess they could throw him back in that role and he'll be good.
Once Seth Lugo comes back, or they have Trevor May.
Yeah, they got a good. At this point, they have a much better bullpen than they did. But yeah, I think if he sticks in there and he pitches like he did with the Mariners, I think he's gonna get a lot of saves. And that's a team, the Mets, that will need a guy like that because they always have close games because they have good pitching. They don't hit quite like the Yankees or the Dodgers. They have good offense, don't get me wrong, but they don't consistently hit like those teams, in my opinion. And in the AL, maybe an easy pick, but Liam Hendricks. I mean, maybe they'll blow people out because, they are going to get a lot of wins, but I feel like you have a guy like Liam Hendricks who's really kind of had a resurgence in his career as this dominant closer. I think that he's going to get a lot of saves. I don't think Chapman is going to get as many saves because Chapman seems to, the Yankees beat teams. They don't always need Chapman. We've seen stretches where they go a week and use Chapman twice. So I see Liam Hendricks getting more use and getting more saves, in my opinion.
Yeah. In the AL for saves, I got Alex Colomé going to the Twins, a guy who had on a 1 ERA last year. Pitches good every year. I think he's a big part of the Twins bullpen, really the whole Twins bullpen. I think he's going to be great for them. And the NL, I do have Edwin Diaz, like you did. It's just because he seems like the only guy right now that's kind of got the closer role locked up, other than Kenley Jensen, but he's kind of trending the wrong way. A couple other names though to look at, Jordan Hicks for the Cardinals, if he's the full-time closer. Phillies, if they have Jose Alvarado as their closer, he could be a great chance. And the Padres, Emilio Pagan, if he's the closer. No one really knows who the closer is yet for them teams.
Mm-hmm.
And then the AL, other than Column A, like you said, Chapman, Liam Hendricks, those are great picks. Maybe Ryan Presley for the Astros.
Yeah, we can see it.
Rocio Iglesias for the Angels.
Yeah.
And then the Blue Jays, I can't think of who's closing for them.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be Kirby Yates.
Yeah. So if they figure out one guy to be the closer for the Blue Jays, they're a team that's going to win some games, so they got a shot. I just, that's the thing. There's not many teams that are like, this is our guy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you could throw Brad Hand in there too. I'm thinking about it.
But, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But for me, Alex Colomé, Edwin Diaz are my are the two guys I think.
Yeah. They may not be necessarily the best. I mean, Edwin Diaz certainly has his critiques. They may not be the best closers in the league. But some guys like I know people like to think, well, Kenley Jansen, the Dodgers, I just don't trust him as much anymore. And like I said with Chapman, sometimes the Yankees just blow teams out, and like I said, Chapman don't get used. So I just don't see it him leading the league. He'll have his saves. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he'll lead the league.
Yeah.
And then finally, to close out our episode here, or what we're going to talk about, our main stuff, is the ERA leaders. So I have in the NL, I have Max Fried backing up. I do think he's going to be really good, and I think he's going to be a Cy Young guy. I don't think he'll quite. I mean, obviously he'll have wins. He's going to be on the Braves. I don't think he's quite going to be the strikeout guy like I have DeGrom here, but I do think he could be an ERA guy, and I think that he'll eat innings and have a good ERA. And in the AL, I have Cole. I have him winning the Cy Young, and I think he'll get the wins. I think he'll have the strikeouts. I think he'll have the ERA. I don't think he'll win the Triple Crown pitching, but I mean, Cole's I just watch him, and it's nice to have a Yankee pitcher as like the guy. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that he'll have a good ERA. In my opinion.
And similar reasons. My AL ERA leader, I'm going to put Todd Glass now because I got to win Cy Young. So if he wins strikeouts in ERA, that's usually your Cy Young right there. And then the NL again, I have Blake Snell. So if I'm going to have someone win the Cy Young, I have Blake Snell win the Cy Young. He's going to win. I have him winning wins in ERA. 2 of the 3 major categories. You're winning those. You're most likely winning the Cy Young.
And that's what I have Cole. I have him winning 2 of the 3. So like I said, you get a statistical darling like that, and you take those categories. Who else are you going to go with? Yeah. I mean, not for nothing, but Marcell Ozuna almost won Triple Crown, didn't even get a finalist spot. So I guess you can't say that's written in stone, but you like to think.
Yeah.
That's all I got for my league leaders here and the awards and all that stuff. That's kind of what we wanted to talk about for this episode. I think that, some other guys just to throw out there that I think will be good. Glass now obviously is a legitimate Cy Young candidate. Had a little bit of a high ERA last season. Like you said, he kind of struggled. Playoffs, he gave up a lot of runs. But I think that he's got wicked stuff. I think that just a guy to watch. I don't think he'll maybe win a whole heck of a lot of awards, but I think that Jameson Taillon for the Yankees is going to be fantastic. I think that Yu Darvish, we're forgetting about Darvish for the Padres. I think he's going to be really good. Like I said before, Luis Castillo for the Reds, he's going to be fantastic. Sonny Gray is going to be good.
Jose Barrios for the Twins.
Yeah, Jose Barrios is always an innings eater. He may not be the ERA guy, but he's going to eat innings for you and get strikeouts and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Luzardo for the A's.
Yeah.
Ohtani for the Angels. I mean, there's a bunch of guys you can throw at. Baber, obviously. Zach Plesac. Throw a dark horse in there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of players. I mean, obviously, that's just pitchers and then hitters. There's so many guys that you like to talk about. Matt Chapman, you think, the guy we haven't even mentioned here. There's just so many players that you just want to talk about, but you just can't get to. Or might not be a league leader, but it's going to be one of the top guys, who always is. So, just excited to have baseball back, and excited to have a full season so we could see Matt Olson try hitting 40, 50 home runs, and see these guys have great years, and see Pujols get that RBI record, and get to 9th on the hits list and stuff like that. It's just exciting to see a full season other than 60 games, and you blink and it's gone. We're talking the next 7 months of baseball instead of the next 7 weeks of baseball, and it's a big difference. Minor league baseball back too. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Just baseball is back altogether, and college baseball will be back, and it's just gonna feel more like normal, and I'm just excited.
And you mentioned college baseball. I just want to throw out there, Jack Leiter is just unbelievable.
He's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
I think he might be maybe the most highly regarded and best college pitcher coming out of college, maybe ever. And I would say definitely the best one in the last 30, 40 years.
Oh yeah. What do you have? What was his last 16 innings or something like that? He had 26 strikeouts, no runs or something like that. Well, that's what it was. No, because he threw the no hitter, and then he had another start where he just
7 innings, no hits, and they pulled him because of pitch count. He has a .25 ERA.
Oh my God! Wow. I mean, he's every time when I watch it. That's the thing too. He passes like the eye test. I watch him, even if I'm not a pitching guy. I didn't pitch when I played or anything, but I watch him. I'm like, dude, he's electric. Like his stuff is electric.
And it's not real herky jerk either. A little bit, but not real herky jerk.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a real big guy, but he's kind of built to last, and he looks great. Just to go into some college stuff, but
well, he got taught right.
Yeah.
He got taught right.
Just excited for baseball though. Just really excited to see the season and really get into it and just kind of see how we can get back in all-star games and home run derbies and just the normal baseball again. And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. I know we talked about everything that can happen this year and World Series winners, but I'm not really worried about. Want to talk about the World Series yet. I just want to talk about opening day, and that's Thursday.
And when this goes live,
and that's exciting. And we got our fantasy teams, and a lot of these guys I got on my fantasy team I want to talk about, so that's great.
Oh yeah.
I got Glass down, I got Acuna, and I feel pretty good about that. So, I can't say enough. You're just excited to see it's baseball, and it's just right here. And a bit of shows coming out, and everything's just going the right way now. Finally.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for my fantasy team too. I drafted some guys I don't usually draft. I didn't expect to draft, but I wouldn't be lying if I was happy that I had Freddie Freeman and Manny Machado and these guys. So it'll be a good. Like I said, there were some guys I didn't expect to have, but I'm excited. So that'll be good.
I'll see you week 1.
Oh no, we played each other week 1.
Face you week 1, so it's better than week to last week.
I know
That's
we always.
Usually how it is.
I know
we're usually both locked up by then, but it's always last week. And it's like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, there's always some seeding.
And then I see you 2 weeks later in the semis, and it's like, here we go.
Yeah, I know.
So,
yeah.
But that should be fun. Fantasy baseball back. We had a year off. I think this is our 10th or 11th season of actually playing for our fantasy league, so we've been around a while.
Yeah, it's probably the 10th of playing, right? Because it was supposed to be the 10th last year.
I think this will be the 10th actually playing season, so it's great.
Yeah,
that's great. So,
absolutely.
But last little bit here, just want to go into our trivia question, and if you guys remember, it's very similar to our, the first trivia question we did for the last prediction one last year. But this one is, who is the first president to throw the first pitch from the mound or the rubber on the pitch? Because they used to throw them from the seats.
Yep.
Taft and Taft was the first one to throw the first pitch. And we all know that was from the seats. We see the pictures of it from the seats, But who was the first one to actually throw from the mound? And that is September 29th, 1988 was Ronald Reagan. And he threw it at the Cubs. It was a Cubs game. And he threw the first pitch from the mound. So that was the first, president. Before that, it was, Taft from the seats and FDR from the seats. Everyone was from the seats. I think, really the change started to kind of occur and go through people's heads around Nixon's term.
Yeah.
That's when they kind of changed it. But, Ronald Reagan was the first one to throw actually from the mound, which kind of just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a crazy dude that everyone loved. But just my last little bit with that, there's no better first pitch ever thrown by any president than George Bush's after the 6 weeks after 9/11. And that was the greatest first pitch ever thrown.
Oh yeah.
And one of the most important moments, I think, in our history, but in baseball history.
Absolutely.
So that's the best first pitch. So I don't care what anyone says, but first pitch thrown by a president out of from the mound is Ronald Reagan, and that was in 1988.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen the Ronald Reagan one, but he just seemed that when I guessed, I was like, Ronald Reagan probably did it. So let's start there.
Yeah.
I know he threw from the mound, but yeah, you're right. Bush is. Not only was it the moment of it with 9/11 and everything, it was in Yankee Stadium, it was in New York, and he threw a perfect strike. I mean, it was the whole, and he looked like a ball player doing it. So obviously some presidents aren't athletic. They didn't. You can't expect them to be all stars.
No Secret Service in the field with them, surrounded them.
Mm-hmm.
They're all worried about him, but Yeah, that was a great moment. And, a little side trivia question. There's only been two presidents, active presidents, or sitting presidents who never threw out a first pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Jimmy Carter and Donald Trump. There were only two presidents who were sitting, current sitting presidents who didn't throw one while they were president. So it's a little side trivia question there for you.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
That was since Taft, though, because obviously before that, no one did it.
Yeah.
So since Taft, there's only been two that never done it: Jimmy Carter and Trump. And Jimmy Carter actually did it after his presidency, long after his presidency, but he did throw one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised that you would think that the president at least would once throw out the first pitch, because they're in there for 4 years. So you would think at one point, opening day or.
FDR had 8, I think.
Yeah, well, he was in there for like 11 years or something like that, or 12 years.
Yeah,
I
think
know.
he had like 15 innings pitched by the time
he was
done.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right. Well, yeah, that's a good one. I did guess it right, but that was because I was like, well, Reagan probably did it, so let's start there. Let's start the guessing there. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good one. And like you said, it's kind of keeps with like last year you did it with the Taft question.
Yeah, he was the actual first president to do it. Yeah, but this year just was almost the same question, just changed it up.
Yeah, so that's our predictions, and like I said, when you hear this, unless you listen minute 1, I mean, you'll be watching baseball, or baseball will be on when this goes live. So that's exciting. I can't wait. I know you can't wait. People that are listening to this, I know they can't wait.
And I'm working from home on Thursday, so I'll have the games on, got TV, so I'll be watching baseball all day long. No school in the middle of the way, or going to work, or at the office with no TV. I will have my TV, and I'll be watching baseball all day long while I'm working, and it's just fantastic to have it back. Hopefully the weather cooperates in most cities, but man, just excited.
Yeah, I mean, I set up my work from home office in my room now, and I literally just turn around, and there's a TV there with baseball on. So, I mean, even if I'm busy, I could always just turn around, look at the score, watch the Yankees, just put on LB Network and watch whatever's on.
Yeah.
So I love that. There's nothing for me as a baseball fan better than the summer and just baseball being on. Even if it's not the Yankees, if it's the Pirates versus the Mets, I don't even know. Like just some random game.
Something about a day game.
Yeah.
Day baseball, and then every once in a while hitting that night game. On a Friday night or something. But a day baseball game just sits right. It's just that's the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
but yeah, I mean, there's not many updates. There's roster moves going on because spring training's kind of coming to a close here, so teams are getting their final rosters together. I don't think there's any major news. Unfortunately, there was the Twins bench coach unfortunately died. I believe he was 46 or something like that.
Yeah, he had kidney cancer, I believe.
Yeah, so that was unfortunate. So rest in peace to him. But like I said, other than that, there's nothing I can really think of. Like, the Mets are trying to work out a deal with Lindor. I don't know if that'll go
Perez
through.
Had an extension.
Yeah. Randy Dobnak had an extension.
Yeah, good for him. He was driving Uber and stuff. So, but yeah, nothing too crazy. I mean, most of the stuff is more team by team. If you're a team of that, or a fan of that team, you'll know it. But a general baseball fan, I mean, it's more just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing blowing the doors off here.
Yeah, so that's all I got. I can't, like I said, I can't think of anything else that's major. So I guess unless you got anything else, we could just wrap this episode up.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. You can listen to this podcast every week on Apple Podcasts as well as Google Podcasts and Spotify. You can listen to this podcast on our regularly updated YouTube channel as well as our website, screwball.podbean.com. You can follow me on Twitter at @RealMikeLepre. You can follow me on Instagram at Mike Lepre.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at FDubs10.
You can follow our official Screwball Twitter at ScrewballPod. You can follow our official Screwball Facebook at ScrewballPod, no E and Screw. And that's it from us, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yep, take care.